It's my favorite time of the month again. TBR time. Things look a little bit different. I'm actually sitting on a medicine ball because I can't sit on my floor. I won't be able to get up. There's just too much around me and I'll have to roll over, and I'm not in the mood to get stuck on the floor. So do forgive me if things look a little bit different. You can't see my full TBR card, but if we need books, I'll just pull from wherever I need to and then show you accordingly. But just know my TBR card is here. Also, this is the last month I'll be using it as a TBR card, so please do like and subscribe if you like these kind of videos, and we can definitely either try and get another card or change it back as soon as possible. In today's video, I decided that I will once again be doing my TBR as well as my wrap up. I'm going to do just a May wrap up. I did read 10 books, so quite a few, and I think that's enough to get through. But we'll be picking our June TBR first, so do stay tuned for that. I will have timestamps if I remember. It is my birthday in June, and it is the month before I'm supposed to become a mother. A lot riding on June, so I'm hoping we get some really good prompts to pick really good books. My prompt chart doesn't look amazing at the moment because everything's peeling off, but let's give it a shake. Before we do that, I forgot to mention that last month we read everything on our TBR except for one book. I'm in the middle of that book as well, so it's not that I didn't read it, it's just that I didn't complete it. So let's just go ahead and start picking. Blue one. I don't know if you'll be able to see because we're quite far away. So a book with a strong female character. I think I know what I want to pick for this, and I wanted to pick it last month and I hadn't. So I'm not going to even pick a few of them. I'm just going to pick the one that I really want. And that is Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the fourth book for me in the Throne of Glass series. I've been dying to continue this series. I'm going to ask for the next book for my birthday, which is Queen of Shadows. This is quite a thick one. I think it is like 600 pages, almost 600. It's like 565, and I'm so excited to get stuck in with this. Selena Sodathian, who is an assassin in this, is a really strong female character. Too strong, to the point where she seems narcissistic or egotistical at some points. So a very strong female character. Cannot wait to see where this goes. The previous book, which was A Crown of Midnight, left on such a big cliffhanger. We got some information that I wasn't expecting, so I'm so excited to see how it all unfolds. So our first book for June is going to be Air of Fire, so it's going to be a good reading month, I can already tell. Next prompt, I think we're going to pick 6 again this month as well. Oh, pink one. Hopefully you can see that, but I do put them on the screen as well. A book you have been avoiding. There's so many. There are so many. The top row is all my, I want to read these imminently. And the bottom row is most of my reading books under 10k ratings. And then also some that I'm not that interested in. Middle row is just like middle of the road. Don't really care if I get them or not. But I think I'm going to pick from the top row because I really have been avoiding this because I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. So this is Wisteria by Adeline Grace. I rated Belladonna a 5-star. Absolutely loved that book. I loved death. I like this personification of death. I loved their relationship and the little mystery that they had going on. But in book 2, I felt like it fell off a little bit and the mystery fell down the wayside and death wasn't that present because he was being blocked by some other entity. I didn't love that, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this. I know this follows another character that was in book 1 and 2, which is Signa's cousin. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that Signa and Death are not in it. But this is one I've been avoiding because I don't want it to be bad. I really want to like it. I want it to be another really highly rated book and series for me. So I think I'm going to pick this one. I'm not going to read the back because it is the last book in a trilogy. There is also a novella. This is 2 now that we're continuing series in, but I think that's the best bet for me because I already know I kind of like these series. So it's going to be a good reading month once again if this delivers. This is quite easy. I think I come into like my monthly TBRs already kind of knowing what I feel like reading or kind of what I would associate with the prompts. So sorry if this goes too quickly for you guys, but let's pick another one. This is our third prompt. Orange. What is that? I saw something about a TBR on there. What does that say? Read the longest book. Okay, we know that this is the longest book on our TBR, which is not going to be read. Or is it? I need to read it. Then I fear we're only going to choose 5 books. Shall we do it? I think we should do it. Guys, I'm gonna do it. So this book is obviously the longest. It has, I think, 1,000 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Over 1,000. 1,024 pages. I do also have this one, which is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, who wrote The Will of the Many. And how long is this book? Oh, not even close. This is 680 pages. There is also Feast of Souls by Celia Friedman. And this has, oh, not even close either, 558. It looks thick because it's a small book. So I guess we're doing it. Over 1,000. Oh my gosh, I'm scared now. I'm scared, but I need to read it and I'm really, really excited to read it. I love Manacled. Oh my gosh, if you don't know what this book is about, oh my gosh, guys, come on. You've been living under a rock. It is this author of Manacled who changed everything so she could traditionally publish it as Alchemized, but it is known as being a Dramini fanfic type of thing. So apparently it's really, really dark and it's really heart-wrenching, but I think we should do it. It's the longest book on my TBR. We can't be cheating. Okay, so 5 prompts then. I don't think we can choose 6 if we have to read that book. Oh my gosh. Okay, another pink one. Don't know if that's upside down or not. That says lowest rated according to Goodreads. The lowest rated book on my Goodreads. Let's go have a look. That will be under 10k reviews for sure. The lowest rated book, let me just screenshot this so you can see. My lowest rated book is this one called Airy. It has a 3.4 average rating, but unfortunately this is the second book. I was dumb again and I grabbed the second book in a series, so we can't read that. The next one down is Bunny by Mona Awad, and I don't have that physically. I was going to get it from a bookstore, but then I don't know what happened. I think I picked something else. And then the next lowest is The Party by Natasha Preston. I've heard that Natasha Preston writes good thrillers from what I've heard anyway, so I'm really excited about this. This is about a group of kids or teenagers who go camping in the English countryside and they just start dropping like flies, as far as I know. So yeah, that sounds very interesting. It is a YA thriller and I love those because they're so fast paced. That's going to be a nice change of pace because so far we have 3 fantasies. Last prompt. I really want to pick another one, but I don't think I can. Not with a 1,000 page book that I need to be reading. Okay, we got an orange one. Did we get a blue today? Yes, we did. I think I saw something about intimidating. A book that intimidates you. Well, I think Alchemized was the one that intimidated me the most. There is one that I've been putting off as well, but it's also a fantasy and I don't think I want to read another fantasy. Maybe I'll pick another thriller because honestly, this book, I don't know why I bought it. I swore off Ruth Ware. What was it called? The It Girl. That was a book that I not recently, but in the last couple of years that I had read from her, and it was really, really boring. Didn't love it at all. So I swore her off. But then I saw this book and I bought it with the Lisa Jewell book. It was like buy one, get one half price, and I ended up picking this. And it is supposed to be one of her older thrillers that was re-released or something like that. But anyway, the back says, Nora hasn't seen Claire for 10 years. Not since the day Nora walked out of her old life and never looked back. Until out of the blue, an invitation to Claire's hen party arrives. A weekend in a remote cottage. Another remote scenario, which is actually, I love that. I think it's very like claustrophobic and like, yeah. Anyway, the perfect opportunity for Nora to reconnect with her best friend, to put the past behind her, but something goes wrong, very wrong. And as secrets and lies unravel out in the dark wood, the past will finally catch up with Nora. That sounds very interesting. So I think we should add this just to add some variety as well. And I have been avoiding it because I want it to be good. I don't think I like Ruth Ware. I feel like her writing is very like meh, but I guess this will let us know whether we like her or not. I don't know. Other than that, I would say When the Moon Hatched, but I don't think I should read When the Moon Hatched and Alchemized in the same month because I think one of them will be underappreciated then. Yeah. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to okay, this is our last book that we're choosing, which is In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. So a quick recap for a book that I've been avoiding, In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. Lowest rated book according to Goodreads for me is The Party by Natasha Preston. I'm actually really excited about this. The longest book on my TBR. Yeah, a book that I've been avoiding is definitely going to be Wisteria by Adeline Grace. And then finally, a book with a strong female lead is going to be Air of Fire. I'm thinking this is a very good lineup. This is very, very, very exciting. I can actually film quite a few different variations of videos with that. So very, very excited. I'm just going to reset my set and then we'll go ahead and start with our wrap up. I'm pretty sure things haven't changed much. I kind of just brought down my books that were on my wrap up list. list, it's not that different, I don't think. I hope not anyway. For May, I read 10 books, which I don't think is that bad at all. It's actually quite a bit. I did DNF 3 books though, and I am still in the middle of one. And if you watch any of my videos, you'll know that one, which we'll talk about at the end. I think it was an okay month. I didn't read the best books. I DNF'd more than I usually would. I mean, 3 is a lot. But like I said in a couple of my videos, my husband was telling me how negative he thought I was being in the videos. But I mean, if you don't like a book, I don't see why you should lie about it. And I don't want to say that I liked something if I really didn't. So if I'm negative, it's just because that's how I feel and I don't relate to the book, or the book just maybe isn't for me, and I'm quite verbose about that, which I'm sorry about. But anyway, let's get into the stats other than the 10 books I read. And actually, I thought I DNF'd 3. I DNF'd 4, sorry, which is a lot. But I think I'm just getting to know my reading taste again, especially now being hormonal and stuff. I think I just like different things. We read 4,070 pages, which is pretty good in my opinion. And that's not including the books that I DNF'd. I didn't include any of those pages, but we read 3 thrillers, 2 fantasies, 2 dystopians, 2 lit fic, and 1 YA contemporary. So quite varied. I thought I read more fantasies, but I really didn't. I actually read an average amount of fantasies. Normally that's my number 1 genre. Some of the books I do not have with me. As always, I'll put a picture on the screen, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's go through our DNFs first, just because I want to get that negativity out the way. Goodreads now has a DNF little slot on there, and I really love it because you can actually rate a book if you really want to. So the first book we DNF'd, I mentioned it in a video. I DNF'd The Ministry of Time by Callie Ann Bradley. I was very excited for this book. I had high hopes for this book. I literally thought that I would absolutely love it because I wanted something more genre bending, and it's meant to be sci-fi, dystopian, historical fiction, romance, all the things, and it sounded so intriguing. But I didn't like the author's writing, unfortunately. I felt like it was very pretentious. Like, she used words that weren't necessary in a simple sentence structure. I didn't like our main female character. I felt like she was super unreliable. I didn't like the main male character. I just didn't like the story at all. I found it very boring, very mundane, and it was a slog to get through. So I ended up DNFing it at page 170, and unfortunately it's just not for me. The next book I DNF'd is called The Fear by C.L. Taylor, and I love C.L. Taylor. Like, one of the books over here is called Every Move You Make by C.L. Taylor. That is like one of my favorite. I have another one down here called The Guilty Couple. Absolutely love that. She just writes domestic suspense really well, but unfortunately this one just didn't do it for me. I only got about 40 pages in because it was based around a PDF and a young girl who was groomed from when she was about 13, and she runs away with her teacher, but then something happens, and that was enough for me. I'm pregnant with a baby girl, and just reading that gave me the ick. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself in that position. It made me sick to my stomach. I barely got into the book, and I was just like, absolutely not, can't do this right now. Probably a really good book to read to get more information and to understand why women do that, or children, or what, it depends on their circumstances, I guess. It's just, I couldn't. It was like that book, Saving Noah. Couldn't do that as well. Just the representation of PDFs and trying to make excuses for their behaviors. I just can't do it. So unfortunately, that was another DNF for me. Then we have On Wings of Ebony. I really wanted to like this book. I really did. I gave it a second chance. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to push through. And I tried. I think I got to page 80. I literally tried, guys. I really did. But this author's writing, again, it didn't resonate with me. It just felt too young. She used a lot of slang and colloquialism that I felt like wasn't relevant, especially to like where I come from. Like, I don't really understand the hood life because, I mean, we don't really have the same type of hood that they do in the US, and nothing made sense to me. The world building was not enough. I don't know. I just couldn't relate to this book, and it felt really juvenile and felt like it was trying so hard to be cool, but it just wasn't doing it for me. So maybe if a different age range would enjoy this, but she still like cusses a lot, and like, I don't know, it just wasn't very well written in my opinion. Then our last DNF, which was quite recently, it would have been the video I think that you've seen before this, where I'm continuing series that I'm in the middle of. I read Hexed. I pulled it in my last month's TBR. I didn't love the Never After series, but I was really trying to just get through it. I read the first, I think, 3 or 4 books. Then Crossed came. Couldn't get into that just because of the religious undertone. I didn't didn't like that. And then we had Hex. And this is one that I said that I've outgrown. I don't like mafia romance. I'm not sure if I still like dark romance. I think I'm very specific with my dark romance because like Haunting Adeline absolutely ate that up. And that's like unhinged romance. I loved The Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I don't know if that's classed as dark romance, but I like The Devil's Night. I do like it, but I think just my season in life as well, I just over it. Like I felt like it was super, I don't know, it felt forced. Like everything felt too intentional. Like from the meet cute to how they kind of discover each other, it just didn't sit well with me. And I struggled and I got to page 200. And I was like, should I just push through? And then I was like, no, I'm just going to be super negative in this review then, because I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. It's her cousin's fiance that she's falling for. She was really mean and horrible to our main female character, Vanessa, but still, it just didn't sit right with me. And I didn't like the way it was written. I felt like there was way too much detail where we didn't need detail. It's a mafia romance. We don't need to know the ins and outs of the family business. I don't know. I just felt like it was too much. So I had to DNF because I couldn't. Moving into the books I did complete. Starting off, I didn't read this on camera at all the way I used to be. I got this out from the library because I saw Larry read it a few years ago. It was a book that made her cry. And this follows our main female character, Eden, who gets into a situation, unfortunately, with her brother's best friend. It ends in a assault. He scares her so much to the point that she can never talk about it, but it's something that's just sitting there and festering, and she's just becoming darker and she's losing herself. She just wants someone to notice that something's different, that something's happened to her and no one in her family has noticed, and they're all just carrying on like nothing ever happened, eating at her, and she's changing and she's just becoming someone that she doesn't want to be. Like she ends up sleeping around and doing all these things and she's trying to deal with it. It just follows that sequence of events and how she ends up dealing with it, and she pushes people away. It was really, really heartfelt. Absolutely loved it. I would recommend, especially for a younger reader who could potentially go through this. I think she was 14 when the assault happened. I think we get a resolution maybe when she's 17, which is really, really long to sit with this big secret. It's really, really sad, and it happens all the time. So it hit hard because as a female, knowing those things can happen and how you don't intend to put yourself out there, but unfortunately people just read signs and signals and make them up. I gave this a 4-star, and this is YA contemporary. So good. I don't want to read the second book because I felt like this first book, it had the conclusion that I wanted. It went in the direction that I wanted, and I feel like the second book is going to be a push, and I don't feel like I need to know anything else about the situation. I feel like it concluded perfectly well. The Good Lie. This was a audiobook that I was reading on my walks, and it is by A.R. Torre. Her books are like very mid, the same as Frida McFadden. Like I just feel like sometimes they're just over the top. But this followed a psychologist while she was trying to navigate having lost a patient who also killed his wife in the process. She's so scared of being investigated and losing her practice that she's hiding things, and she's hiding case files. When she meets this guy who's associated with another case where his son was abducted after a whole string of people were abducted and murdered, she meets him like by chance. He asks her to help him with this case against this guy that they now think that they caught, that kidnapped his son, and it all just kind of unfolds like that. And I thought it was good. I thought it was good until the end, and the twist was just like, no, it can't be. It was just so lame, and I was like, that came out of nowhere, firstly. Secondly, it was freaking lame. It felt like the least effort someone could have put into an ending, and I think that did the book a disservice. But I gave it a 3-star, which isn't terrible, but it was entertaining until that point. It could have been better if we got the resolution we wanted, but at the end, when you find out who did what and who covered up what, I was like, come on, really? Like, no, I just don't believe it. Then I read Sisters of Sword and Shadow by Laura Bates. I have a full video on this. I'm pretty sure I was negative about this because I thought it was going to be something that it wasn't. I thought it was going to be like cute sapphic fantasy, but it wasn't either of those things. It was more like historical fiction about women who start this keep and they perform in like night competitions and stuff, and they have like their own little thing going. The main lady, she pretends that her husband's still alive but he's dead, just so that she could keep the keep and bring women in. But all of that could have been so much more interesting, but nothing really happened. Like it was such a stagnant story. So unfortunately it didn't sit really well with me. I felt like more could have done with the messaging of feminism feminism and women sticking up for women and women, you know, lighting the way for other women, but it just didn't. It fell really flat for me. Did I say I gave it a 2.75? Then again, this was in a video, A Curse of Ashes by Soraya Wilson. This was the last book in a trilogy for the Eye of the Goddess trilogy. I liked the conclusion of this. I thought it might go on for another book because it just dragged on slightly, and all the trials and stuff that happened in the first one was basically being repeated in the third one, and I was like, oh no, more trials. Does this mean there's going to be another book? But there wasn't. I was so happy with the conclusion. I would recommend if you really like slow burn, because absolutely nothing happens between the two main characters until the last book. Like, there's dreams and like there's thinking about it, but there's no actual stuff happening between them. It's spicy, but not that spicy. I'd give it like maybe 2 chili spices, but I'd really recommend it. It is based on Greek mythology. It's really, really interesting, especially the magic system and their like religious belief systems. Very, very, very interesting. Would recommend. I gave this a 4-star though. So the first book was a 4.75, second book was a 4-star, and the third book was a 4-star. So really, really good series. I think it's very well rated. Unfortunately, then I picked up Wild by Kristen Hanna. I don't know, I just wanted to be different, to my detriment. I picked this up from my library because I thought it was something like completely different from what she normally writes, because I don't love historical fiction. I don't like anything to do with war or the Great Depression, and that's normally what she writes about, but I still did want to like taste test her writing, and unfortunately it didn't really work for me. I felt like it was just drawn out again. It was like how much pages was it? 480 pages, and I feel like the resolution could have happened at least halfway through. It's just the same sequence of events kept happening over and over and over again, and unfortunately it just didn't work for me. By halfway I was bored. I was like, can we just get this over and done with? What is wrong? What is happening? Can we move on? So it got a little bit boring, and I gave it a 3-star, which isn't a terrible rating. It's very middle of the road. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but I'm happy that I did read it. I still don't think it is a true representation of Kristen Hanna's writing, and I'm gonna have to suck it up if I want to know her writing and just read some historical fiction, and we'll see. Maybe I'll get it out my library and then I won't be wasting my money, but maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Then my highest rated book this month actually is Frozen Charlotte by Alex Bell. I again have this in a video, so I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but a 4.5 was my highest rating this month, and I had so much fun with this book. I think I read it or picked it up at just the right time, where I was so sick of everything I was reading, and this was like a breath of fresh air, and it was a paranormal thriller / horror. Absolutely loved it. There's body gore, there's hauntings, there's sentient dolls, there's everything in it, and it was fucking amazing. Absolutely loved it. The Ouija board, the ghost of Christmas past, not really, the ghost of her cousin past, like it was just so good. I would so recommend this. It is such a quick read. I thought when I picked it up, I was like, oh my gosh, the first chapter is 20 pages, but it flew by. Oh my gosh, I read this so quickly, and not even immersive reading. It is so much fun. 100% recommend. If you like more paranormal, easy to digest books with a little bit of unhinged female characters in it, you'll love this. It was so good. 100% would recommend. Then unfortunately we picked up The Mime Order, which was a bit of a disappointment because I really did love the Bone season. I thought it was amazing. Almost gave it a 5-star. It was a 4.75. I keep saying that every time I talk about this book, but I expected the same from this. According to a lot of people that I watch, the series doesn't get much better after the first book, but then I've watched some people who absolutely love it and eat up every little morsel of it. I don't know where I fall, but for me this fell a little bit flat just because I felt like there was a lot of repetition, like the same events. It was the same writing, different font. Like every event, it just happened was negative. Paige just kept making bad decision after bad decision, and I just couldn't keep up with her anymore, and I was so over it. The ending though was so good. I ended up giving this a 3.25 just because the ending really got me, and it kind of went in the direction I was hoping it would go in, because honestly we needed a reprieve of all the negativity. So this is really political. So if you like dystopian with a lot of politics, more politics than anything else, kind of how their syndicates and underground works and the workings of that, you will love this. But I don't love character driven stories, but I needed a little bit more of that to make me relate or to like or even feel anything for our characters, where at the moment I just feel nothing for them. I feel like Paige's point of view is redundant at the moment because her point of view just doesn't change and she hasn't grown as a person. I feel like she's still very naive and really, I wouldn't say stupid, but she just makes stupid decisions. So unfortunately 3.25, which isn't bad once again, but I was hoping for more. The Intruder by Frida McFadden, because I started this like I want to say 6 months ago, and it was just sitting on, I read 5%, so I thought I'd finish that, and it was again a breath of fresh air just because it was a change of pace from all the other books I was reading. And you know, Frida McFadden is a great palate cleanser. If you're ever in a slump or just want something quick and easy like a 24-hour readathon, read Frida McFadden. It's so quick and easy easy to read. I like this one. It was one of her better books in my opinion. I gave it a 3-star. I think I give most of her books a 3-star. But if you compare it to like The Coworker and The Tenant, this was like miles better than those were. So would recommend. I thought it was a fun time. I don't get the title of the book though. I don't know why it's called The Intruder, because at no point is anybody intruding. So it's very confusing, that part, but it was a good story and I like the 2 points of view. Obviously I leaned towards one, as I said in that video, but it was really fast paced, really quick. I was on the edge of my seat. I came up with all these theories and I was right in some respects, wrong in some respects, and I love books like that. Second last book for us Against You by Frederick Bachman. I love his writing. I think he writes really deep, meaningful books about subjects that can affect anybody and anyone can relate to, about community and, you know, standing up for what is right, just being human. I feel like his writing is amazing, but I don't think this book needed to exist. I said this in that video as well. It just followed along after Beartown, but in Beartown we got an epilogue where people had moved on and I was like, well, why were we jumping back then? I would have carried on from that epilogue. Me personally, I didn't think we needed to go back again, and now we follow a huge cast of characters, like even more than in the first book, and I just was lost in the source. And unfortunately it's good and I liked it, but it wasn't just there for me. And I think I gave this a 3.75 or a 4 on Goodreads because I did like it and I did like his writing, but it felt unnecessary for me. I will not be reading Winners. I don't feel like I need to. Like the end of this book again, I'm like, cool, we got the conclusion we needed, and I don't see where it can go from there because I don't want to have to now follow an even larger cast of characters. Like, okay, they like hockey, they're trying to move the town in a position where they are better at hockey than the town next door and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, his writing is good and like I said, and it's impactful, but I don't really care to read anything further in this story, but I definitely will read some of his other books. And lastly, for the month of May, we read Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is the very last book I just read. Actually, I'm reading another book now, but that I read before this video. What can I say? What can I say about this book? Everybody knows the Hunger Games trilogy, or whatever it is now. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 books, but the original trilogy most people know about. Most people have watched the movies. I didn't read the books. I only watched the movies, and then this year I picked up Hunger Games and now Catching Fire, and I'm hooked. Absolutely love the story. I loved at least the first, like, I want to say 60%, because it was so different from the movies, and I felt like the movie just left out so many important things that now reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Back then, I mean, I wasn't really fussed about reading the books, but back then I didn't understand some things, like how her father died and the relationship with Gail. Like, it seemed like he was okay with being platonic, and she was just angry and aggressive. And I thought, you know, she's been wronged so much in her life. Like, it's understandable that she's aggressing and rebelling against this. But her inner monologue in this, oh my gosh, it's just so much more revealing than you would think it would be. Great. Absolutely great. Gave it a 4-star. Would recommend. Even as an adult reader, I feel like it's so quick and easy to read. I would 100% recommend for all ages, to be honest with you. That is all the books that we read in May, and that is all our TBR book. Very excited for the month of June. I think we have an amazing TBR here, and I think that May was an okay reading month. It was better than okay, I think. Maybe not with ratings wise, but with the number of books we read, I think it was great. And I'm diversifying. I'm trying to see now what I like and what I don't like and how I've evolved as a reader, and it's been really fun. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.